In a recent message to non-Catholics, Francis proclaimed that all the baptized are members of the body of Christ. That is a massive heresy. It repudiates the entire history of Catholic teaching on the effects of heresy and schism. It denies what the Catholic Church has always taught about the Church. It rejects Vatican I's dogmatic teaching on the papacy as the principle of unity in the body of Christ. It denies the dogma that anyone who departs from the papacy or rejects Catholic teaching is expelled from the body of Christ. It literally denies dozens of magisterial pronouncements. Indeed, in the encyclical Amantissimus, Pope Pius IX pointed out that there are almost countless proofs for the Church's dogmatic teaching, that one must accept the papacy to be in the Church of Christ, a dogma Francis openly denies. Moreover, this huge heresy on the Church, which anti-Pope Francis has taught many times, was also taught in Vatican II itself. See our video, Vatican II's Protestant Heresy. The other Vatican II anti-popes have repeated this heresy many times, and it is contained in the highest pronouncements of the Vatican II sect. So, in addition to once again proving that Francis is a manifest heretic and an anti-pope, this huge heresy on the Church of Christ, that all the baptized are supposedly members of it, demonstrates without any doubt that Francis's communion, his organization, is not the Catholic Church. We know that for a fact. It is rather a non-Catholic sect, and Catholics cannot profess communion with it. For consider that one of the Catholic Church's essential marks is its oneness or unity. In other words, one of the ways that you can identify the true Church is that you see a unified body, a body united in faith. But Francis, the leader of the Vatican II Church, openly proclaims that his organization is characterized and marked by division and disunity. He teaches that his so-called church includes every baptized person. He proclaims unity with multitudes of utterly anti-Catholic Protestants, people who reject and even hate Catholic dogmas. His church includes people who disagree with each other on fundamental issues of Christianity. That is a fundamentally divided or disunited church, and its disunity is proclaimed from the top down by its so-called leader. This disunity and division, which characterizes the Vatican II sect, is also manifested in every parish and diocese of that sect, where one will find hordes of people who notoriously dissent from the Catholic Church's teaching. Therefore, Francis's communion cannot be the Church of Christ, that is, the Catholic Church, and anyone who is defending Francis's communion is not defending the Church of Christ, the Catholic Church, but rather a counterfeit non-Catholic sect. What they are actually defending is the prophesied end-times counter-church, the Whore of Babylon. So, those who obstinately acknowledge Francis to be the Pope are not only professing communion with a notorious heretic and apostate who teaches a false religion, and thereby denying Catholic teaching that only those who profess the true faith can be considered members of the Church, and that all those who depart from Catholic teaching must be considered outside the Church, but they are also professing communion with a non-Catholic sect that lacks the Church's essential mark of unity. By contrast, among the true Catholics in our day, who reject the Vatican II sect and hold all the teachings of the Church, including on salvation and baptism, even though we are a remnant during this prophesied great apostasy, we do find the supernatural unity of the Catholic Church. We find a faithful and rigorous adherence to the Church's dogmatic teaching, and a rejection of communion with those who don't profess the true faith or who depart from the teaching of the magisterium.